Well, for more on our top story on former President Jacob Zuma's testimony at the state capture inquiry, we cross now to our senior reporter Mzwandile Mbeje, who's been observing proceedings. Mzwandile, seems as though the president has pretty much dismissed the evidence that was given by Barbara Hogan, the former Public Enterprises Minister, on the appointment of certain people at Transnet.
Oh, a very good afternoon to you, Nompu. That's basically what he's been saying here. That particularly relates to the proposed appointment of Siyabonga Gama, so which he is said to have pushed despite the recommendation of Sipho Maseko, who was apparently the one suitably qualified to head Transnet. But as you have said, Nompu, the former president has basically said, so there was no decision on his part to then go and dispute the process that had been set in motion to select the right candidate. And it would flow from the debate, the discussion that the commission legal team had with the former president earlier on around the issues of deployment. So he basically went into detail into explaining what the deployment committee is. Remember, one of the issues that Barbara Hogan had raised in her testimony was that there is a deployment committee that is taking place that is at Lutuli House. In her view, she felt it really did not serve the interest of the public. It only served the interest of certain loyal people and factions. So she basically said that in her view, that deployment committee was not correct. And then the former president basically saying that was the structure that has been set up by the governing party in order to be able to do the work or to assist the work of government insofar as appointing the members of the SOEs were concerned. So what we have had so far, Nombu, is basically a situation where the former president says, well, there's nowhere he overruled certain decisions. So everything that was being done was done according to processes. Ministers responsible for various departments would take part, and of course some of the issues will be processed in cabinet, as is a norm.
So Mzwandile, yesterday Justice Zondo and Mr. Zuma's lawyers, they came to an understanding about how to proceed, because they had been raising objections a number of times earlier around the fact that proceedings could go on, and unless they felt that something terrible was being raised with the former president, they would stand back. But I see today that Mr. Sikhakhane came in, and there was a bit of an exchange between him and Judge Zondo. Can you just elaborate on what the issue was there?
Well, Nombu, we thought the issue had been laid to rest yesterday when the judge called the teams from the commission and the former president's side to discuss the way forward to avoid the issue of constant interjections, as a result really hindering the work of the commission. But what we did see sometime today again was the team, Sikhakhane, the advocate Sikhakhane, standing up, objecting to some of the issues that were being put to the former president. But I can tell you now, Nompu, that it does seem that the judge didn't take kindly to that, because in his view, whatever Advocate Pretorius was doing was still within what had been agreed to. So essentially the judge was saying, well, this kind of line of questioning is acceptable because it's part and parcel of clarifying some of the issues that had been said about the former president. I think you could see, the judge is normally very cool when he addresses some of these issues, but I think you could see and hear the firmness in the voice to say, I don't think I will continue to be allowing these kind of interjections because they are the waste of time. And I think Advocate Sikhakhane really did realize that perhaps it's better to then allow for the opportunity for Pretorius to continue. So it did happen again today, but I think the judge was very firm, so the proceedings are continuing as we are at adjournment right now.
All right, Mzwandile, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for that report, my colleague Mzwandile Mbeje. Nzinga?